Hello, here's our wish list for everything we want to see in Halo Infinite. Grab your spanker, we're going grunt hunting.
Boo.
Horror. Halo Combat Evolved was a damn terrifying game. The first time you come face to face with the Flood is a moment that most gamers will never forget. R.I.P. Jenkins. And following on from there, Flood forms became the series' real big bad. The fact they were a massive problem for the overwhelmingly powerful Covenant says a lot about their mindless, all-encompassing tenacity. They were a horrific force to be reckoned with throughout the original trilogy, and then in Halo 4, gone. Those pesky Forerunner baddies in Halo 4 and 5 have never been able to replicate the fear brought on by the undead hive mind. And to be honest, they've never actually managed to be interesting or fun to fight either. So isn't it about time we revive the OG threat to the universe? From what we've seen so far of Halo Infinite in trailers and the box art, it looks like the Master Chief will be duking out with the Covenant and the created, Cortana's ragtag group of evil Forerunner AI on a Halo ring. And obviously, you know what else lives securely imprisoned on Halo rings. Semi-open worlds. Something the original game did so perfectly was giving the player the option to approach certain levels how they wanted, with multiple locations to drive between and tasks to fulfill. Back in 2001, this was just mwah. Halo Reach dove back into this little, and before that, Halo 3 ODST incorporated a hub world that loaded into different levels. But that initial feeling of awe and scale that overcame the player when first stepping out on the ring has never been replicated. That's why I feel Halo Infinite should take on a similar approach to that seen in 2018's God of War or the recent Tomb Raider games. A linear story told in a changing, semi-open world built out of different hub zones that branch off into new areas. Those calming boat segments with Kratos and Atreus in God of War, those are now badass skidding and sliding warthog moments. Oh, a cave of Draugr? Nope. Time to pop some Covenant skulls. Let's bring wonder and exploration back to the Halo franchise. You are Master Chief. Bungie knew what they were doing with the first Halo. Big lad John barely ever spoke, only to say something awesome. Instead, the supporting characters built the drama and story. You cared about Johnson and Captains Jacob and Miranda Keyes in the original trilogy because they drove the human element of the story. You took on the role of Chief, with your own thoughts and feelings projected onto the quiet, stoic super soldier. So when he said something, you knew it mattered.
You mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.
This changed in 343's games. He got a bit chatty.
It's not too late to stop this.
We no longer felt like we were Chief anymore, and as the games became more about Chief and Cortana, the characters around became more and more diminished. Villains like the Didact and the Warden Eternal, who I literally just had to Google to get their names, became two-dimensional and completely unthreatening. Now the bad guys are just generic sci-fi villains with nothing interesting to do or say. The prophets of truth and regret sang their evil messages to you throughout 2 and 3, just as Gravemind loomed in the shadows talking only in verse. Halo Infinite should let Master Chief be a vessel for the player again, saving the universe and overcoming evil in an unwinnable galactic war without being the entire crux of the story himself, allowing yet again the supporting cast to shine.
For a brick, he flew pretty good.
Before I finish off my big old list of things we, and let me clarify strongly that by we, I mean Tom the massive Halo nerd who wrote the script, not me, want to see in Halo Infinite. Here are a few of the things we didn't have time to embellish on. Forge maps that don't look like smooth Yoda, the return of dual wielding, modern and classic multiplayer playlists, and a less cinematic and more swelling melodic score. Grounded sci-fi. This is a biggie. One of the things that grounded movies like Alien, Aliens, Terminator 1 and 2 and the original Star Wars trilogy was their ability to feel real despite the fantastical settings and scenarios. The big thing that helped with this was the down-to-earth aesthetics of the weapons and locations. They all felt super gritty and lived in, everything felt tactile and physical, something embodied beautifully in Bungie's Halo games. It all felt weighty and real. The Halo rings appeared ancient, the towers were never pristine, they'd become worn and overgrown over time. The only aspects that felt fantastic were the Covenant, allowing them to feel so much more advanced and threatening than your scrappy team of UNSC foot soldiers and ODSTs. They even took it the opposite way for the Brutes. A physical combination of apes and bears, these animalistic beasts were so prehistoric in appearance and weapon choices that they were more threatening than the advanced civilizations of the Sangheli elites. Obviously, we can't avoid the fact that fighting against and teaming up with more advanced alien races will improve human technology, and of course unearthing ancient Forerunner gizmos will give a solid boost. So in turn, that meant the humans in 343's new games became much more advanced and futuristic. By doing this though, everything just became one big futuristic mess. This wasn't helped by the complete overly advanced redesigning the Forerunners and their architecture went through. Everything looks like it was built last week instead of appearing eons old, and the enemies themselves, they're just glowy generic sci-fi baddies with no sense of personality or intrigue. You can't compare the old war of an elite to a silent Promethean knight, or the screams of fear from the grunty Ongoy to the shiny, glowy dog things. Everything has become so sterile, Halo has lost character. Halo Infinite is the perfect time to pull it all back to a more grounded experience. Fortunately, from the trailers we've seen, it looks like that might be exactly what's going to happen. This may have felt like a rant against everything 343 has done with the Halo franchise, but it isn't. The Master Chief Collection is an amazing technical feat that's fundamentally improved tenfold over time. They oversaw the revival of the brilliant Halo Wars franchise, and if I'm going to be honest, Halo 4 wasn't that bad of a campaign. Plus, those still playing Halo 5 multiplayer seem to be having a brilliant time. When 343 was formed, they brought in amazingly talented developers, artists, writers, everyone from around the world from different studios, all wanting to make their own stamp on the Halo universe. I personally feel that they may have stamped a little too hard at times, changing too much before the audience was comfortable. Now that things have settled, now that the team seems to understand Halo and its audience, I'm genuinely excited about the franchise and where it's going again. Let's see if 343 are finally on the same page as the players. This was our wish list for what we want to see in Halo Infinite. For more wish lists like this and for other absolutely cracking content, make sure to give Gaming Bible a like, you massive legend you.